You've been praying, fasting, serving, waiting, yet nothing seems to be moving, and deep down, you wonder if heaven's gone silent. But what if I told you the one thing blocking your blessings isn't the devil, isn't delay, and isn't divine timing, but you? Not just any part of you, but the part of you that refuses to surrender the one thing God has repeatedly asked for, your will. You say you trust God, but secretly, you're still holding the pen, trying to write your own story, praying for His will, but planning your way around it. And Proverbs 3:5 says, lean not on your own understanding. Yet that's exactly what you keep doing, subtly, quietly, beneath your worship and your declarations. You obey publicly, but negotiate privately, and that hidden resistance is spiritual sabotage. The Israelites wandered for 40 years, not because God failed, but because they did. Over and over, they clung to what was comfortable rather than stepping into what was promised. And many of us do the same, choosing familiarity over faith, patterns over purpose, survival over surrender. You want breakthrough, but won't break up with that secret sin. You want divine promotion, but still entertain bitterness like it's a birthright, forgetting that forgiveness isn't optional, it's commanded. Matthew 6:15. Could it be that your blessing is not denied, just delayed until your obedience matches your prayers? Because partial obedience is still disobedience, and delayed obedience is just rebellion with better PR. And here's the shocking part. Some of the greatest blockages to your breakthrough aren't even sins. They're distractions, good things out of order, people you've elevated above God, dreams you've idolized more than the dream giver. Romans 1:25 warns of those who exchange the truth of God for a lie and worship the creation rather than the Creator. How many of your prayers sound more like manipulation than submission? More like, God bless this, instead of, God, if it's not from you, take it. You ask for blessings, but forget that blessings often come through burdens first. Look at Joseph, sold into slavery, imprisoned, falsely accused, yet still positioned by God because he kept his heart clean. You cannot hold on to resentment and expect the oil to flow. Psalm 24:3-4 says, only those with clean hands and a pure heart will ascend the hill of the Lord. And let's talk about entitlement, the quiet lie that says because you've been faithful, God owes you something. But faithfulness doesn't entitle you, it prepares you. God is not a vending machine, and your works are not currency. They're evidence of your love. If He's not Lord over your choices, your desires, your relationships, and your reactions, then He's not Lord at all. Some of you are praying for an open door, but you're still camped outside a door He told you to close months ago. Relationships that drain you, environments that distort you, habits that desensitize you to His voice, and you wonder why you can't hear God clearly anymore. Because delayed obedience causes spiritual deafness. Every time you ignore that gentle nudge, your heart hardens just a little more. Hebrews 3:15 says, today, if you hear His voice, do not harden your hearts. But we often do, because surrender feels like weakness, when in truth it's the access code to divine strength. You're praying for God to move, but God is waiting for you to move. Out of your pride, out of your fear, out of your comfort zone. You can't walk into Canaan with an Egypt mindset. You can't receive what's new while clutching what's old. Isaiah 43:18-19 says, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. But new things require new posture, new habits, new surrender. Sometimes the reason the blessing hasn't come is because the version of you that's standing right now isn't the one God intends to bless. He's waiting for the refined, pruned, stripped down you who's finally ready to hold what He's been holding back for your protection. Because a blessing given too soon becomes a burden. The prodigal son demanded his inheritance early, and it destroyed him. Timing matters, maturity matters, obedience always matters. So what is the one thing God's been asking for that you've been quietly withholding? That thing you've convinced yourself isn't that big of a deal? That relationship you swear you can handle? That habit you think you'll break eventually? That fear you haven't named but keeps driving every decision? God won't compete for first place in your life. He is first, or He's nothing. That's not legalism. That's lordship. And until He becomes more than a Sunday service, more than a playlist, more than a backup plan, you'll keep walking in circles, confusing delay with denial. But the blessing isn't gone, it's waiting, stored up for the surrendered, for those who say with trembling yet true hearts, not my will, but yours be done. So here's your challenge. Stop asking God to bless your way and start asking Him to break whatever's keeping you from His way. Because the one thing that could be blocking your blessings isn't out there. It's the thing in you that you've been too afraid to lay down. Let it go. Let God be God. Then watch what happens next.